Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Villains. On the Rebirth server, we are with Nightmare Lass, our level 34 Mastermind, who has almost 3 million total XP, another 100,000, just over 3 million, and she will get to level 35. We have 139 million infamy, and we're getting ready to start a new contact. So I did a bunch of newspaper missions after finishing with hard luck. We're getting close to level 35, but I figured I'd bring you back since it's been a couple of days since I filmed City of Heroes, and I may as well post a few videos. And I got a new contact, Vivacious Verandi. And she, I think, will have us fighting the Carnival of Shadows, which is a pretty interesting faction, and let's see how they act on the villain side. We fought them a few times, not as part of story arcs, just as newspaper missions and such, but I don't think we've had a story arc against the Carnival of Shadows, so it'll be interesting to check them out. In the meantime, I've managed to buff up a few enhancements. I've basically just taken some of the single origin enhancements and replaced them. So an endurance here, a couple of endurances over here. So at this point, other than these four heals, we have all of our primaries and secondaries slotted with generic inventions, or this one set, and we have about half of our sort of pool powers with the generic inventions as well. So hopefully by level 37 or 38, all of that will be done, and then we'll just be looking at getting sets and new generics for new slots as we go. Speaking of leveling up, at level 35 we should be getting Anguished Cry, which I believe is a toggle that's going to give our enemies minus resistance and minus defense, so it might be very useful against those behemoths to turn that on when and get near them when our minions keep missing. But in any case, Vivacious Verandi says, "Sweetie, I need a little help. See, my friends in the carnival have a little plot, a fun plot. Girls just want to have fun, right? Anyway, we need someone big and strong to help us out. That's you. Don't worry, we'll pay you. Will you help us make some mischief? Sure. First step is to steal some weapons from the family." Alright, so we're actually working for the carnival, not fighting the carnival, so that's fine. So we're going to go steal some weapons from the family. As you can see, I've been all over this map as I've gone from mission to mission. And things have been going really well. I haven't failed or any missions or been killed at all in a long time, so that's good. Did a bank robbery, just the most recent mission I did right before starting recording. Didn't do a lot of mayhem in that mission. All I did was basically just rob the bank. And so now we're going to head into the family's base and steal some of their weapons. So we're going to have probably be looking for some glowies. You know, it's interesting. I'm not sure what made it come up, but in my YouTube, like when I was searching for stuff of something, I think I was searching for something about City of Heroes, I think, and I can't remember what. But it brought up there's a really good video on like the life and death of City of Heroes, and it's got all these great videos of how the players all kind of gathered to show support for the developers and how they loved the game. They all gathered in Atlas Park, and there were so many of them that it spawned 33 instances of Atlas Park, and somebody made up a logo called Atlas Park 33, and I guess to show the support, the 33rd instance, what the players agreed to do, and this is something that was just done spontaneously by the players, right? What the players agreed to do was make sure that somebody was logged into Atlas Park 33 at all times. So I'm not exactly sure how they arranged it, but they kept Atlas Park 33 around as an instance, even when all the other instances disappeared. It was down to just Atlas Park and Atlas Park 33. They kept that around for the rest of the game for several weeks until the game was shut down. And I remember that there was an Atlas Park 33 on, I think it was Torchbearer. When I first started to play there was an Atlas Park 33, and I couldn't figure out why. It was like there was Atlas Park 1, 2, 3, and 33, and then there was some bug where if you logged off and it registered you as being in Atlas Park 33, you couldn't log back in. Eventually, they fixed all of that. There is no more Atlas Park 33, but I think it was a really interesting video. If you get a chance to watch it, it's worth watching. There's also another one about the return of City of Heroes, and it goes through the history of how Leandro ran the private server, which I've talked about on this channel, and then it talks about how guys, go kill him. It talks about how the game came back after all those years, and the Bree server, and etc. etc. So if you're interested in the history of City of Heroes, I think each one of those videos is about 10-15 minutes. I think it's worth watching them one after the other to see, kind of the life, the death, and the rebirth of City of Heroes. And of course that explains why this server is called the Rebirth server, right? Obviously. And then Torchbearer, well, that was named because there is a torch emote. I'm not sure what it's called. But there is a torch emote where you can hold up a torch. Stances, loyalty. There is an emote where your character holds up a torch. And so what people were doing was standing in Atlas Park under the Atlas statue or on the steps of City Hall, holding up torches as like a vigil at the end of the game. And there were all these screenshots of like dozens and dozens and dozens of cool player characters all holding torches. And it became an annual thing on the day that the servers were turned off every year. People were going into the Paragon City chat, which I'm not sure if I've talked about on this channel, and holding up torches for the day. And a lot of people would just put their character in the torch pose and then stay logged in and go to work. Let me see if I land here. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can... who's shooting at me? This must be an ambush. These guys are annoying me because I'm trying to actually show you guys the torch emote if I can. And they're attacking me. And I'm talking about Torchbearer. Guys, cut it out. I think it's semicolon. Semicolon, is it torch? No. So I'm not sure what that emote is. If anybody knows and wants to leave a message down, comment down in the comments, let me know and I'll go ahead and show you the emote. But so Paragon City chat. I don't know if I've talked about this before. So this was somehow or other. Everybody still had the client, right? Technically on their desktop. We paid for a client, and we had it on our desktop, but there weren't any servers to log into. So what someone did was they created a sort of like a text-based login server where you could log in, and you could make up a character and you could log in and you could see the other characters, but nobody had any powers. The movement powers worked somehow. I'm not sure how it all, kind of worked out, but it was basically you were logging into a chat server and you could talk, and the channels worked, and you had your login name, and you could talk to each other about City of Heroes or whatever you wanted, but you couldn't actually play the game. And I don't think you could go into instance missions. There were none of the NPC models like the skulls and hellions and stuff were there. You couldn't fight. I think everybody had access to all 4 movement modes: super jump, flight, teleport, and super speed. And that's all that you had. And you could just sort of wander around the outside of Atlas Park. I don't know if you could zone anywhere else. I think you could. And just wander around and see Paragon City. But you couldn't actually play the game. And what someone was trying to do was take that code base and then like create, sort of reverse engineer the rest of City of Heroes. And they had gotten to the point where they got instances working, but you would come into a warehouse like this, but it would be empty. There were no NPCs. There was no mission text. They would have had to reconstruct all of that from the wikis and stuff. Of course, nobody knew at the time that Leandro had a working server going and had all of the NPC models and stuff. It has been claimed that somehow or other the group that was doing Paragon City chat was also connected to Leandro's server, and that they were sharing data or information. I don't really know if that's true. We do know that the Tequila client, which boots up your City of Heroes client and then connects it to the servers, was keyed originally just to Paragon City, and then somebody was able to connect it to the Bree server. And there was a rumor that Tequila was also used to get into Leandro's server. I don't know if that's true or not. There were claims that Leandro was the one who was running everything, and I don't really know whether that's true or not. I know that there are badges for years of loyalty that go beyond the 8 or 9 years that you had in the live game, right? From 04 to 2012. There were 13th, 14th, 15th year, etc. badges. The belief was that those badges came from Leandro's server and were somehow co-opted by the Paragon City chat people. So I don't know. Those are all just kind of rumors and accusations that were flying around when this all broke. I haven't paid a lot of attention to that, so I don't know how much of that was true or not true or exaggerated or what have you. Paragon City chat was the only way that you could see Paragon City for a long time, unless you were on Leander's server, until the Bree server was put up, and then Torchbearer and all those other servers came online. And the reason the Torchbearer was called Torchbearer is because every year people would go into Paragon City chat and hold up torches with the torch emote. So there are still 3 crates to find, and I hear a glowy. You guys can attack that guy while I get the glowy. I'll tell you, it's very convenient with the minions. Let them go attack somebody and I can click the glowies, which is pretty cool. And against enemies that are, sort of just generic smashing lethal type enemies, such as the family, my minions are pretty good. They don't have any trouble with the family. Don't really have any trouble with the carnival either, although they do have a little bit of an issue sometimes with their endurance. Now that guy, he aggroed from a really long way away. I don't know if that was an ambush or what. That's the second time in this mission that we've been sort of aggroed from afar. I don't know if that's just part of this mission or if something weird is going on. I definitely have had some issues. I was in the supergroup base, and you can't see it now. You can see how low the green bar is down here in the lower right hand. That's the latency. When it's way down here, there's very little latency. Well, inside the base, it jumped up to here and it stayed solid all the way up, like max latency. So I don't know what happened there. I clicked on like the salvage rack and it just unclicked. Yeah, here's another ambush, it looks like. Yeah, so they're okay. So these seem to be ambushes, I guess. But there's weird ambushes because they're coming from deeper in the base instead of from the entrance. And they're sort of these half-hearted. I mean, they're they're yellow cons instead of orange, so they're not going to do anything to me or to my minions. It's so weird not having to wait for them. A couple times in the last few newspaper missions, I've been fighting freak shows, and I've gotten very used to the freak shows respawning, like resurging and waking back up. Guys, go down. That's a pretty long aggro distance. And there's another ambush. Well, this is a pretty interesting mission with all these ambushes. Finish him off first. And let's help Beanie. And let's go get those guys. Boy, my minions have a really good jump too. It's like they all have super jump. Although they're not able to stay up there, it's really funny. They can't seem to figure out how to do that. And neither can the button men. You guys coming with me? There doesn't seem to be a boss. And we have one more crate. And there was another ambush. These are pretty interesting, these ambushes. It's a shame they're all +0 to the mission, because that means they're not really very powerful. So what are these guys saying? Don't let Nightmare Last get the weapons. Oh, you know what? Maybe they ambush you after each glowy is clicked? I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. I don't know where the last glowy is, though. Now, how did we not aggro that guy? No, they're definitely not coming in response to the glowies being clicked, because this new ambush just came in and there were no glowies. Or I haven't clicked on anything. And it seems like, I could be wrong, that the time between ambushes is going down. Which, if that's true, that means we've got to get a move on. Because eventually they will overwhelm us, even just being yellow cons. Go get him. Where's the last glowy? Is the question. Oh, it's over there. I missed it. Alright, so we gotta go back. So there must have been a whole section down here that I didn't see. Alright guys, come on. Come down. I feel like sometimes when you're changing three-dimensional levels like that, it helps to just, or when there are obstructions in the corridor, it helps to just give them positional directions. Okay. I guess I missed something over here. I didn't even notice that. Oh wow. Yeah, I missed this section of this corridor over here. This is a huge warehouse. Yep, right there. Coming, guys? Guys? Get him. Nobody up there. I do like being able to scout ahead, like while my minions are fighting somebody, I can look ahead and say, okay, what's coming next? Okay, there's some guys. And I hear a glowy, so it's going to be in this room to the left, I guess. So the minions aren't worth a lot of XP, but the lieutenants are pretty good. I mean, 500 XP. We need like 100,000 XP to level. That'd be like 200 minions, but the bosses are worth almost 2,000. Or not the bosses, the lieutenants. Okay, let's bamf this guy over here. I don't see a boss in there, but there might be. And then we're going to teleport, I don't know, one of these guys, doesn't matter which. Of course I missed. Alright, just go get them. They're only yellow cons, who cares? So the ambushes seem to have stopped. And there's the glowy. But we'll take these guys out first. Man, my guys are just so nasty. Just can't imagine what it would really be like to see these gigantic, nasty, flaming demons bearing down on you and like wielding ice swords at you and freezing your friends. And oh, did he freeze two guys at once? Excellent. That is good job. Very well done, Curly. And now we click on the last glowy, and that should be the last cache of weapons. And we've got it. Alright, guys, not bad. One lesson I have learned is to turn invisible before I go outside, just in case there happen to be any bad guys outside to attack me. Alright, so now we're going to go back to Vivacious, our contact, and I will bring you guys back when we are with her. Alright, we are back with Vivacious. And she says, I'm so excited, Nightmare Lass. Those weapons you stole are going to be the start of the biggest party ever. And we're on a story arc for her. Excellent, guys. Available missions, she says. Those weapons you stole from the family are going to cause so much fun. I need you to take them to a freak show hideout. Then I'll tip off the family. It'll be a party with lots of blood and bodies. Come on, Nightmare Lass. Let's be bad. Okay? So we're going to head to the freaks. Now, we've been in this episode for about 25 minutes, so I'm going to just do an instant teleport to the mission door. And then we'll switch back to stealth once we see what's there. We're still kind of low mid-range for this this zone, so there's always a chance we could get jumped by something that's like a yellow or orange con, which would be very dangerous for us without our minions. You can see what's down there. Well, those are just blue cons. And we will buff up our pets. So one thing I was looking at, and I don't know that I would do this because it's very min-maxy and kind of, and probably unnecessary, but I was looking at, there's a how to play a Mastermind video from the Homecoming server up from like a year ago. And the one person was saying what he did was he 6-slotted Hell on Earth, and he didn't put any individual buffs on it for usage. What he did was he put some of these invention set items that have things like this pet defense aura, and many of these, the ones he put in here, are things that are like just running all the time and don't need Hell on Earth to be triggered for the effect to happen. And so it gave his pets permanent defense buffs and so on and so forth. So I guess it's one thing you can try. Not necessarily a huge fan of building that way. I rather use Hell on Earth as Hell on Earth, and if that's true, um, I'd rather put enhancements on it that are going to make Hell on Earth better. But again, I don't build for the set bonus. I never have. I mean, set bonuses are nice to have, but I consider them bonuses. Now, one thing we do have is I got hold of a Doctored Wounds recipe, and I don't know if I would put it on Nullified Pain because I really want the recharge, although we only have 2 rechargers on here. If I had triple recharge, it might be more of an issue, but I think Doctored Wounds, or the other one is, I have the recipe for it. Preventive Medicine. These guys have some pretty good buffs. Endurance cost discount, recharge rate increase, increase maximum health, and so forth. So I might get those and put them on my 2 healing powers. I didn't do that for my Scrapper, mainly, or not my Scrapper, my Stalker, my Regen Stalker, because I had triple recharge enhancers on there, and the set would have actually reduced the recharge rate, and the set bonus would not have been enough to compensate. So, I mean, I could have, with multiple set bonuses, multiple sets in addition to the healing sets, I could potentially have gotten the recharge rate back up, but that would have just required an awful lot of inventing, and that really wasn't what I wanted to do with that character. So with this one, once we have all the generic enhancers in, we will do what we did with Silver Phoenix and start looking into sets. But first, I want to get all of the regular invention trainers, the generic invention enhancements in there, and have the individual's powers working correctly before we start worrying about putting sets on these powers. There we go. I haven't seen any glowies yet. There may be one upstairs. There often is. There we go. So that was a pull that got both members of the spawn, which is absolutely fine. Let's give some Mez defense to Meanie. The main point of that was to bring these guys over here so that we didn't aggro the guys over there while we were fighting these guys. Alright, doesn't look like they're going to respawn, so we'll come over here and attack, and I hear a glowy. That's the first one. So we're going to plant. So we got 4 crates worth of guns, right? And now what we're going to do is plant those 4 crates worth of guns into crates in the Freak Show warehouse to make the family think that the Freak Show stole these guns instead of us, and start a war between the 2 of them. And there is the first glowy, so we're going to lay down this first crate. I feel like I hear another glowy. Oh, there's another one. Let's attack these guys. And there's an ambush. Oh, and the family's coming in to attack the Freak Show. Interesting. But this is weird because they know that we stole from them, right? They were ambushing us in the last mission, and now they're coming in to attack me instead of attack the freaks, which is sort of weird. And it's clearly an ambush on me because they made a beeline for me and started shooting me rather than my minions right at the beginning. So they're not just aggroing to anything in this area. They're aggroing to me. Right, here they come again. Right, and what they're saying is, let's get the freaks, but they're attacking me, which is dumb. And now they're just, are these guys just spawning in thin air? Yeah, this is pretty sloppy. Let's get the freaks and they're attacking me. You know, like, you can't tell me from a freak show. That's kind of stupid. Come with me, guys. We're going to leave these ambushers because they won't be able to find us once we leave this room. At least usually they can't. They're pretty stupid when they ambush you. So now we're going to go this way. And there's some freak show. So there are 2 more crates. Remember, we stole 4. So we've placed 2 of them in here. And although they don't show it in the animations, I picture my demons carrying the crates around for me because I'm the mastermind. Why would I lug those things around? Right? You're going to serve me, demons. Who's shooting me now? Oh, another ambush. You see? And you see it's an ambush on me, not on the freaks. They're completely ignoring everybody else and shooting me, which is the way typical ambushes are coded. So that means that the developers, quite independently of the story that they had written here that says that these guys are supposed to be fighting each other, programmed the ambush to be a normal ambush and just attack me. Again, I feel like that's really sloppy. If you're going to have ambushes on me, that's fine. Change the story. Have them saying, you know, Nightmare Lass is giving our weapons to the freaks, get her. And then I'm fine with the ambush attacking me rather than the freaks. But instead, the ambushers are saying, get the freaks, and then they're making a beeline for me. They're ignoring my demons, they're ignoring the freaks, and they're shooting me. I'm not a freak show. Right? It's just, to me, that's just really, really sloppy. Okay, let's give him some Mez defense. Seems to cure that. That Tesla cage or whatever they're throwing them in. Get him. I hear another glowy. Upstairs. Well, I'll hit this while my minions are fighting the freak. One to go. And there comes another ambush of me. And they came from inside the warehouse. Like, why are the family spawning inside the room where the freaks are? That doesn't make any sense. They should be coming from the exit, right? That's where they came from. They should not be coming from up here where there's no way in or out. Right? They're spawning from a closed room. That's dumb. And then they're attacking me because they hate the freaks. There are freaks right there. It's just, I don't know. Weak mission design. There you go, and there's another spawn. Right? It's just, why don't they all come together? It's like a clown car, right? There's not enough room for these guys to all be in this room, but they come from it anyway. And because they're mad at the freaks, they shoot me. What? Like, whoever edits the stories needed to take another pass at this, because this doesn't make any sense. Come downstairs, guys. Go kill these freaks. And there's the last glowy. And we've completed the mission. Is there a freak boss? Doesn't seem to be a boss. This is a fairly long episode, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and exit here rather than play around with these silly ambushes against yellow cons. There's really no point to that. Alright. let's contact Vivacious, and she says, "Here, here, hee hee. This, my dear Nightmare Lass, is what I call chaos. The family and the freak show are going at it. No, they're not. They're attacking me, and they probably won't stop for weeks. You'll help me get them into some more trouble. If you'll help me get into more trouble, there's more money in it." All right, so Chaos Unbound. So she's just being an agent of chaos and trying to create chaos. Not much of a story. Again, I feel like even these stories, which are not the super new ones, I don't think, but they just don't have the depth and interest that the Paragon City superhero stories from the original game had. Which is why, although I'm perfectly happy to play this character through to level 35 to level 50, I'm probably not going to play any more villains in this game for a really long time. But we are playing this one for another 15 levels, so until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains on the Rebirth server.